Game of Thrones' 8th and final season debuts in just a little over 2 months on April 14th, and has fans salivating at the prospect of a return to Westeros for one last ride. At least, until the prequel show about the Long Night debuts sometime in the next few years. The final season, which is set to be 6 near feature-length episodes, is already going to have more loose ends to tie up than we can count, from the Jon and Daenerys situation, Melisandre's mission, Cersei's pregnancy, and, the war for both the Iron Throne and against the Night's King. But it's also bound to shock us in ways that we don't expect. Case in point, we're taking a look at one of the oldest theories that the book series has to offer. What if Tyrion Lannister is a secret Targaryen? On the face of it, this sounds extreme and unlikely, a fan theory at its very core, with little to substantiate it, but, believe it or not, there's actually a wealth of evidence in the text of the novels themselves, and even more in the show that seems to hint at this being a possibility, even if it isn't outright confirmed. The crux of the theory is this, that Tyrion is secretly the illegitimate son of the Mad King Aerys and Joanna Lannister. Yes, that would make him Daenerys' older brother and Jon's uncle, and second in line to the throne behind Jon, thanks to the law of primogeniture. Starting with things that we have textual examples for, it's made pretty clear early on that Tyrion is the black sheep of the Lannister family. He's an outcast. He's not like anyone else in his family, both in personality and in physical appearance. The second part he couldn't help, but it certainly influenced his attitude. Being born a little person in a haughty noble house helped him hone his intelligence and quick wit, if only as a means to defend himself. But he was always looked down on, metaphorically of course, by his father Tywin. In the book and the show, we're led to believe this is simply because Joanna, whom Tywin loved completely, died giving birth to Tyrion, but there seems to be more beneath the surface that suggests there's more to it than that. While it hasn't been addressed as directly on the show, the book series makes it very clear that Tywin was not the only member of a great house to love his late wife Joanna. In fact, one very powerful man coveted her as well, none other than the Mad King himself, Aerys II. Aerys had been forced to marry his sister Rhaella by his father, who believed a prophecy that told him that the prince that was promised would come from their line, their children or their children's children. But Aerys did not love Rhaella. In fact, he didn't even like her all that much, and instead he loved Joanna. And many have suggested that he could have taken liberties with his power as king, and Tyrion could be the result of that union, something that Tywin, who had come to loathe the king after being his hand for years, specifically because of how he treated Joanna, would hate, both because it cost him Joanna directly, but also serves as a constant reminder of Aerys' actions. Then there's Tyrion's appearance. No, not the fact that he was born with dwarfism. While in the series, he's shown as having dirty blonde hair that sometimes almost looks more like a light brown to match his darker brown beard, which is just Peter Dinklage's natural hair and beard. In the novels, his appearance is decidedly different. His eyes are mismatched, there's one green and one black, and his hair, interestingly enough, is a mix of black and pale blonde, mostly pale blonde, not the true golden hair of his brother or sister. Pale platinum blonde hair, almost white, is a calling card of the Targaryens, which is especially suspicious when you consider that Tywin and Joanna were first cousins, so genetically, scientifically, there's really no reason why Tyrion would have different hair. Beyond this, in both the book and the show, Tyrion is shown as consistently fascinated by dragons. He feels drawn to them, he reads about them, he dreamed about them as a child, specifically about riding them, as he tells Jon in A Game of Thrones, and later encountering them during his time with Daenerys, which we do see in the show. In fact, in the show, he was the one who freed them from their captivity in Meereen, and the visibly angry dragons not only allowed him to come near them, they didn't eat him, and they even let him pet them, and we've only seen one other person allowed to pet the dragons, Jon Snow, who we know is a Targaryen himself. And of course, maybe the most symbolic piece of evidence of all, the Targaryen crest is a three-headed dragon. If Daenerys and Jon are both Targaryens, there's one more person out there that would be the third head of the dragon, and Tyrion definitely seems to fit the bill. So what do you think? Could Tyrion be a Targaryen, or is the third head of the dragon someone else out there? And even if you believe this theory, do you think that it's gonna happen? I mean, obviously there's a lot to wrap up in this season, and throwing one more iron in the fire might just be too much to handle. And when you consider that the only people that would possibly know the truth are dead, so unless Bran is going back in time again to discover more secrets of the realm, it's probably unlikely that it'll ever be addressed in this series. That's going to do it for me here, though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.